elements in some other big set. So let's try to count number of even numbers. So intuitively, the half of the natural numbers are even number and half of the natural numbers are odd number. So if I add the cardinality of even number with cardinality of odd number, it should give me cardinality of natural number. So number of even numbers and number of odd numbers are half of the natural numbers. So if aleph 0, we now know the cardinality for n is aleph 0. So if aleph 0 is cardinality of n, then maybe aleph 0 by 2 should be cardinality for even number. So our intuition says that there are exactly half natural numbers as even numbers. So let's try to find out whether this is true or not. Okay. So let's try to count the number of even numbers. So we have the template ready with us. So this is my even number set 2, 4, 6 up to infinity. And to count the number of even numbers, I will use some subset of n up to this n, which is unknown now. And let's try to find out the perfect mapping between element of this set to element of this set. So now what I will do, I will map 2 to 1, 4 to 2, 6 to 3, maybe 8 to 4, and so on. So for every I here, that I will get mapped to 2i. So 1 will get mapped to 2, 2 will get mapped to 4, 3 will get mapped to 6, and so on. So for every I here, it will get mapped to 2i. And for every 2k here, because this is a set of even numbers, so it will be always in the form of 2k. So for every 2k here, it will be mapped to some k here. Now I will not run out of the even numbers because they are infinite. Similarly, I will not run out of the natural numbers because that are also infinite. So for every even number there exists a natural number, and for every natural number there exists an even number. And no two even numbers are mapped to same natural number, or no two natural numbers are mapped to same even number. So this mapping is perfect mapping. And according to Cantor, two sets are same cardinal, they are having same cardinality if there exists a perfect mapping. Now there exists a perfect mapping between set of natural number, so I will remove this n1 and I will remove this n, and I will consider the complete n now. So there exists a perfect mapping between set of natural number, elements of natural number with elements of even numbers. So according to our definition, these two are having same cardinality. So there exists same number of even numbers as of natural numbers. Yes, it is very hard to digest because it is against our intuition. Our intuition was there are exactly half of the natural numbers are even numbers. So the natural number or natural number should be double the number of even numbers. But now this is against our intuition. And because of this, Cantor, when he realized this fact, Cantor explained that I can see it but I cannot believe. This is so hard to digest. The number of even numbers are same as number of natural numbers. And why we are saying this? Because the definition of same cardinality says that if there exists one-to-one onto mapping, which is a perfect mapping, one-to-one onto mapping between the elements of two sets, then those two sets have same cardinality. Now there exists one-to-one onto mapping between the elements of natural number and elements of even number. So these two sets have same cardinality. Number of elements here are same as number of elements here. So even number is not aleph 0 by 2, but it is aleph 0. Cardinality of even number is aleph 0. So what we have seen so far is number of even numbers are same as number of natural numbers. And to show this, what we have done is we have natural number set, we have even number set, we have natural number set, and then we have somehow found out the one-to-one mapping between elements of these two sets. Now what this mapping is, so this mapping is actually a function from natural number set to even number set. So for fx, every x is mapped to 2x for all x which belongs to natural number set. So what is the nature of this function f? The nature of this function is bijection, that is one-to-one onto. Don't worry if you are not following these terms. So what function means, what bijection means, we are going to see these terms in next unit, second unit. So for us, the function means a mapping and a bijection means a perfect mapping that we have explained previously, man-to-man marking. So now that our template is to show that two sets are having same cardinality, we will find out a bijection between the elements of these two sets. So let's try to find out the cardinality of odd number set. So this is my odd number set 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So now according to our template, we will use our natural number set to count odd number set. So this is my natural number set. So what we need to do now, we need to find a mapping between these two. So we need to find function f from n to o. So what I will do, I will map 1 to 1, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 4 to 7, 5 to 9, every k to 2k minus 1. So what is my mapping here is f of x is equal to 2x minus 1 for all x belongs to natural numbers. So again, it is very easy to verify that this fx is actually bijection. So again, this function and bijection, don't worry about it. So this is a mapping, perfect mapping. All the odd numbers are mapped, all the natural numbers are mapped. One number is mapped to one number over here. So according to the definition of same cardinality, since there exists this mapping, these two have same cardinality. So in fact, cardinality of O is same as cardinality of N, which is Aleph 0. So we have seen a smaller set, smaller than natural numbers, and we found out that these smaller sets are also having same cardinality of as of natural number set. But what about the bigger set? So let's try to compile one set which will be intuitively surely bigger than n. So let's say this is set x, which contains a t and then all the natural numbers. So this x contains all the natural numbers along with one special element which is t. So now surely all the elements in natural number sets will be present here, and then we will have one extra element t in x. So again, intuitively this x is larger than n and the cardinality should be greater by 1. So the cardinality of x should be Aleph 0 plus 1. So let's try to count actually the number of elements in x. So again, this is x, this is natural number set, and what I will do now, I will map 1 to t, 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 4 to 3, and then I will not run out of the elements from x set and I will not run out of the element of n set. So again, somehow I found out the mapping which is the perfect mapping. So again, I have function from n to x such that f of 1 is equal to t, and then for all other x it is x plus 1. For all x belongs to n and x not equal to 1. So this function again is a bijection. So there exists a bijection from between elements of n and element of x. So again, this is against our intuition. What we have thought that this x will surely be greater than this n because it contains this t extra element t over here. But according to the definition of same cardinality, this goes against our intuition. And still, even though it has extra element, still cardinality of x is same as cardinality of n, and which is equal to Aleph 0. Set to analyze is integer set I. So integer set contains all the negative numbers, 0, and all the positive numbers. So integer set is infinite in two directions. It is infinite in positive direction plus infinity, and it is also infinite in negative direction. So again, intuitively this set is much larger than natural number set, because natural number set is only infinite in one direction. So again, intuitively this I should have twice the number of elements than natural number set, because for every natural number there is a negative number and there is a positive number in integer. For every natural number there is a negative number and positive number in the integer. So again, intuitively the cardinality of I should be twice Aleph 0 plus 1 for the 0. But let's see. Now I want to map the elements of I and elements of n. So how I can map it? So if I start mapping from minus infinity, I have infinite number over here. So I will map 1 to minus 1, 2 to minus 2, 3 to minus 3, 4 to minus 4. So there are infinite minus number here and infinite natural numbers here. So I will not end this process of mapping at any time, and then all the positive numbers will remain unmapped. Now if I try to map positive numbers with the natural numbers 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, again this process will go till infinity, and then I will not be able to map these negative numbers. So the way of mapping this way is not going to help us. So what we should do now? So is it the really greater set than natural number set because mapping does not exist? Okay, so what we will do now, we will rearrange the elements of integer set in this fashion. So I will start with 0, then 1, then minus 1, then 2, then minus 2, 3, minus 3, and so on. So previously this was my number line 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2. Now I am folding this number line from this point, and then I am writing these numbers in this fashion. So this is my reshuffled integer set, but all the integers are present in this set, and this is my natural number set. And now I can map 1 to 0, 2 to 1, 3 to minus 1, maybe 4 to 2, 5 to minus 2, and so on. So there are infinite integers over here, infinite natural numbers over here, so mapping will not end. So integer is also infinite set, mapping exists, so it is countable set, so this is countably infinite set. So my mapping will be f of 1 is 0. Then every even x is mapped to x by 2 if x is even, and every odd x is mapped to x minus 1 by 2 and negative of it. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 by 2 is 1, 1 negative is minus 1. So again this function fx is a bijection. So there exists a bijection between elements of natural number set, elements of integers. So again the outcome of this mapping is against our intuition. And since there exists a mapping between elements of these two sets, these two have actually same cardinality. So for even number, even for the integer, the cardinality of integer is not twice in Aleph 0 plus 1, but it is Aleph 0 only. Even though this integer intuitively contains much more, twice number of elements than natural number set, according to this definition, cardinality of integer comes to be aleph 0. So far we have examined a smaller sets than natural number and happen to be equal size of natural number. Then we have examined one larger set, but also this larger set is also equal to the natural number set. There is one more larger set, intuitive larger set, which is set of rational number. What is set of rational number? If I can express, so rational number is in the form of p by q, where p and q belongs to natural number. So for all pair of p and q natural number, I can define p by q ratio provided this q is not equal to 0. Obviously 0 is not in the natural number. Even though we include 0, p can be 0 but q cannot be 0. Okay, now this q actually, so how many, instead of representing rational number as p by q, I will represent rational number as a pair pq. So p is natural number, q is natural number, so how many natural number pairs I can form? So I can, p is 1, then q is 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 up to infinity, then 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4 up to infinity, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. So in natural number, if number of natural numbers are aleph 0, I can form aleph 0 into aleph 0 number of such pairs. Aleph 0 square. So if there are aleph 0 square pairs, the cardinality of q should be aleph 0 square intuitively. Is it so? We will find out. Okay, so again, to list down all the elements of q and then try to map them with natural number set will not going to help, because again q is in infinite in multiple directions. So instead of that, I will rearrange the elements of this q, and then, so this is 1 by 1, this is 1 by 2, this is 1 by 3, this is 1 by 4, 1 by 5, infinity, then 2 by 1, 2 by 2, 2 by 3, 2 by 4, 2 by 5, 3 by 1, 3 by 2, 3 by 3, 3 by 4, 3 by 5, 4 by 1, last one, 4 by 2, 4 by 3, 4 by 4, 4 by 5, and infinity. Okay, so this is my rational number set. Now how to start mapping? So if I start mapping the elements from the row wise, I will map one by one. Again, to clarify, there are multiple pairs here which evaluates to the same rational number, but for sake of simplicity I will include all the pairs, possible pairs. So our rational number set is actually smaller than this because of these redundant fractions, but anyway, for simplicity I will include all the pairs, possible pairs. Okay, so if I start mapping row wise, 1 is assigned to this, 2 is assigned to this, 3 is assigned to this, 4 is assigned to this. So there are infinite fractions in the row and I have infinite natural numbers. So I will, this mapping, I will not be able to finish the mapping of first row itself because of infinite numbers over here. So all these numbers will remain unmapped. If I start mapping column wise, so 1 is mapped to this, 2 is mapped to this, 3 is mapped to this, 4 is mapped to this. Again in the column we have infinite numbers. So I will not end this process of mapping the first column. So all the numbers over here will remain unmapped. So I cannot go row wise, I cannot go column wise. So how I should go? So the approach to map is again due to Cantor. So this approach is called as optimization approach. So what is this approach? So Cantor said you start with the first element and then you move to this element and then you move horizontally diagonally to this element, then you go to the next diagonal, you move, you explore the next diagonal, and then you move to the next diagonal, you explore this diagonal, in this fashion, and so on. So now I can map 1 to this, 2 to this. So I am having some kind of traversal over this matrix, and then the number that I encounter in my path, I will assign the next natural number to that number. So first number that I encountered in the path is 1 by 1, so 1 is assigned to this. Next number that I encountered in this path is this, so I will assign 2 to this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and using this fashion, a diagonalization approach, I will not miss out any rational number. So all the rational numbers will be visited at some point, and all the rational numbers will be visited only once. So again, I have this kind of mapping. So now if you say that these are the strings, and then all these numbers are placed on the string, and then if I unroll it, I have a straight string with this sequence of rational numbers. So finding a mapping between the element of one set and the element of natural number set is actually making them stand in the queue. You make the element of one set stand in the queue somehow, and if you have a queue, you can assign the queue number to that element. So if somehow you make them stand in the queue, which means you have mapping. So I have make them stand in queue. This is the queue. 1 by 1, then 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 3 by 1, 2 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 2 by 3. So this is the queue, and the number in the queue is the natural number assigned to that number, rational number. So if somehow you are able to make them stand in the queue, you have a mapping. So this mapping is called as Cantor's diagonalization approach. And now since we made them stand in the queue, we have perfect mapping. All the rational numbers will be visited at some time. So all the rational numbers will be mapped to the natural number, and then no rational number will be visited twice. So this is one-to-one onto mapping. This function is bijection. So again, we found out that though intuitively this is much larger set than natural number set, we found out that cardinality of rational number set is also same as natural number set, which is Aleph 0.